Hola a todos. Today we are going to do a listening comprehension paper, and this will be taken from May 2013. And this will, of course, be Unit 2. All right. So let us begin. Selection 1. Las Fuerzas Armadas de Colombia informaron que 5 sospechosos de ser guerrilleros del Ejército de Liberación Nacional murieron durante una operación para encontrar a 2 hermanas secuestradas. El 5 de octubre, Valentina Blanco, que tenía 6 años, y su hermana Diana, que tenía 8, hijas del alcalde de Cali, desaparecieron. Estaban jugando en el jardín cuando 2 hombres las raptaron. Las niñas hambrientas y somnolientas fueron llevadas al hospital regional para el tratamiento médico. Okay. 1A, who were killed by the Colombian Armed Forces. It says, cinco sospechosos de ser guerrilleros del Ejército de Liberación Nacional. Okay, so you could have said 5. So I said 5 guerrillas of the National Liberation Army were killed by the Colombian Armed Forces, right? Or as they say, 5 suspects or 5 suspected. You could say 5 suspected men of being guerrillas of the National Liberation Army, right? So that would be the answer for 1A. 5 guerrillas of the National Liberation Army. B, what was the purpose of the operation undertaken by the Colombian Armed Forces? Durante una operación para encontrar a 2 hermanas secuestradas. The purpose was to find 2 kidnapped sisters, or locate, whichever one, 2 kidnapped sisters. C, how old were Valentina and Diana Blanco? So, Valentina Blanco, que tenía 6 años. So, Valentina was 6 years old, while y su hermana Diana, que tenía 8. And her sister Diana was 8 years old. State what occurred on the 5th of October. El 5 de octubre, Valentina Blanco, no, let me skip that part. Hijas del alcalde de Cali desaparecieron. So those 2 girls disappeared. So on this day, the 2 daughters of the mayor of Cali, because alcalde means mayor, disappeared. Desaparecieron, right? So yes, the 2 daughters of the mayor of Cali disappeared. Hence, it's worth 3 marks. So you needed to state that the 2 daughters of the mayor, right? That they were the 2 daughters of the mayor, and they disappeared, right? So I should have said the 2 daughters of the mayor, and I would put a colon and put the 2 names Valentina and Diana disappeared. But you really don't need to. I think you would still get it correct because it's understood. The 2 daughters, you don't have to mention their names. No, right. I don't have to mention their names. I don't think no. No, you don't have to mention their names. I was just, I like to be as thorough as possible. You don't have to mention their names. Right. E, in what condition were Valentina and Diana when they were taken to the hospital? So it says, Las niñas hambrientas, which means they were hungry, y somnolientas, sleepy. So if you didn't know what that adjective meant, somnolienta, well, because it's feminine, but that means sleepy. Okay? And there's another word, raptaron. So that will come from a raptar, and that's a synonym of sequestrar. So that means to kidnap. Okay? Or abduct. Selection 2, and you see you have a table. En Chile, los estudiantes y el gobierno no han podido solucionar la crisis educativa. Después de 5 meses de disturbios y manifestaciones en todo el país, las conversaciones han fracasado de nuevo. El tema central para los estudiantes es iniciar un proceso de reformas para garantizar la educación gratuita. Sin embargo, un problema que enfrentan muchos estudiantes es la pérdida de clases. Los estudiantes se encuentran en un dilema: seguir con la protesta o perder el año académico. Okay? So, A, type of crisis taking place, solucionar la crisis educativa, so an education crisis. Parties involved in the crisis, los estudiantes y el gobierno. Okay, so students and the government. Country where the crisis is taking place, Chile. Chile. Length of time the crisis has been occurring. Después de 5 meses de disturbios y manifestaciones. So disturbios would be like riots, and manifestaciones would be protests, right? So 5 meses, so 5 months. What occurred at the end of the crisis period? So después de 5 meses de disturbios y manifestaciones en todo el país, las conversaciones han fracasado de nuevo. What occurred at the end of the crisis period? The talks failed once again. I could say once again, the talks failed, or the talks failed once again. Or just add on that little part. The talks failed once again. Once again, I don't think, we really don't need that, but I like to be thorough. The talks failed. So E, students may demand. El tema central para los estudiantes es iniciar un proceso de reformas para garantizar la educación gratuita. So the main issue for students is to start a process of reforms to guarantee free education. So main demand is that the guarantee of free education. Right. So the guarantee of free education, that would be the main demand. And F, explanation of dilemma faced by students. Los estudiantes se encuentran en un dilema: seguir con la protesta o perder el año académico. So the dilemma is choosing between continuing to protest or missing an academic year. So the choice is between continuing to protest or missing an academic year. So that's the dilemma. A difficult choice that has to be made between 2 options, right? Selection 3. Según el viceministro de Turismo, Tomás Suárez, el futuro del turismo europeo hacia la República Dominicana se muestra prometedor. Suárez reveló que en el periodo enero-agosto, la llegada de pasajeros ascendió a 3 millones de visitantes. Francia era el mayor emisor de turistas al país durante ese periodo. Sin embargo, Suárez llamó la atención sobre la necesidad de que el turismo sea de desarrollo sostenible. Hay que promover un consumo equilibrado de recursos como agua y energía eléctrica. Okay. The first, when I said según el vice, I would say viceministro, as opposed to saying viceministro. Okay, right, right. Viceministro. I just was a little doubt. I was just doubting myself a bit. All right. So who is Tomás Suárez? Según el viceministro de Turismo, Tomás Suárez. So he is the vice minister of tourism. Vice-ministro can also translate as deputy minister. All right. So B, what occurred between January and August? En el periodo enero-agosto, la llegada de pasajeros ascendió a 3 millones de visitantes. So the amount of visitors increased to 3 million during that period, right? C, why is reference made to France in the selection? Francia era el mayor emisor de turistas al país durante ese periodo. Emisor. So they're saying that most of the tourists came from France. So it's like France was the emitter or the issuer of tourists, right? So most of the visitors to the country came from France between January and August, right? And D, how does Thomas Suarez describe sustainable development? All right. He says, hay que promover un consumo equilibrado de recursos como agua y energía eléctrica. So one must promote the balanced use of resources like water and electrical energy. Right? So that is what that's how he describes sustainable development. Desarrollo sostenible. All right, selection 4. Hoy en día, comprar por internet se ha convertido en una actividad cotidiana. Se puede hacer algún movimiento bancario, adquirir artículos o comprar boletos de avión. Las personas procuran hacer estas actividades rápidamente, sin tantos trámites ni filas. Actualmente, el comercio electrónico puede ser utilizado por cualquier persona o empresa que tenga una dirección de correo electrónico y su cuenta personal. Las compañías electrónicas cuentan con medios de pago como tarjetas de crédito, transferencias bancarias y pago en efectivo. 4A. Identify 3 activities mentioned in the selection that someone can do online. So it says, se puede hacer algún movimiento bancario. So that refers to like banking transactions. movimiento, banking movements, literally, but I would say transactions, right? Transactions. Um, ad, que, ad, adquirir artículos, right? So that means to buy like items, purchase items, or comprar boletos de avión, or purchase plane tickets. So those are the three activities that can be done. You can purchase a plane ticket, perform some banking transactions, and buy items online. Okay, B, what is the advantage of doing these activities online? So it says, las personas procuran hacer estas actividades rápidamente sin tantos trámites ni filas. So that means that they can do these activities quickly without trámites would be procedure. So trámite means procedure or like process, right? And fila would be lines. You know, be it in lines, you know, when you have going to bank, you have a line, right? That would be a fila, right? So they can perform these activities quickly without too many procedures or lines. All right, C, identify two requirements for online trading. Okay. So actualmente el comercio electrónico puede ser utilizado por cualquier persona o empresa que tenga una dirección de correo electrónico. So once they have a email address y su cuenta personal and a personal account. So those are the two requirements. An email address and a personal account. How can someone pay for online transactions? Las compañías electrónicas cuentan con medios de pago como tarjetas de crédito, so that's credit cards, transferencias bancarias, banking transfers, bank transfers. And it has here y pago en efectivo. Efectivo is cash, so that wouldn't count. You don't pay cash online. Cash is for in-person transactions. Online would be credit card or bank transfer, right? Okay, selection 5. So place a tick in a box next to each of the 4 sentences that is correct according to the selection. So that means that among these options, there are only 4 that are correct, right? So yeah. Selection 5. La petrolera estatal ecuatoriana Petro Amazonas anunció hoy la entrada en operación de un nuevo pozo de crudo. Este pozo, que se encuentra en la frontera con Perú, producirá diariamente 5,000 barriles. Para extraer una mayor cantidad del crudo, se tiene que realizar una extracción horizontal. Se espera que la operación del nuevo pozo cree unos 120 empleos adicionales. Ecuador produce unos 500,000 barriles de petróleo al día y financia el 25% del presupuesto estatal con su exportación. So let's identify the correct elements. So Petro Amazonas is a Peruvian state oil company. No, because it said that it's from Ecuador, right? I can't remember what I don't want to use the wrong nationality, so I'm just going to say it's from Ecuador, right? It's from Ecuador, so Peruvian is wrong. B, the new oil well will produce 5,000 barrels a day. Yes, that was said. Producirá diariamente 5,000 barriles. So that's correct. It will produce 5,000 barrels daily. C, large sums of money will be invested by private companies. No, that was not mentioned whatsoever. Horizontal extraction is required to obtain greater quantities of oil. Yes, that was said. Para extraer una mayor cantidad del crudo, se tiene que realizar una extracción horizontal. Horizontal, sí. So horizontal extraction is required to obtain greater quantities of oil. Yes. E, 120 new jobs will be created with this new wealth. Yes, that was said. Se espera que la operación del nuevo pozo cree unos 120 empleos adicionales. Yes, it's expected that the operation of the new well will create, yes, 120 additional jobs. So that's correct. F, Ecuador produces 50,000 barrels of petroleum per year. No, Ecuador produce unos 500,000 barriles de petróleo al día. So the only part that would be wrong is the ending. This says per year, but the passage said per day, al día. So that would be wrong. Y fianza el 25% del presupuesto estatal con su exportación. Currently, oil accounts for 25% of the state budget. Yes. Fianza el 25% del presupuesto estatal con su exportación. Yes. So that's correct. So those would have been the 4 correct sentences. All right, section B, you go to the interview. Interview with Dr. Margarita Cooper about transplants of animal tissue in humans. All right. Locutor. So that's like the interviewer, right? Doctora Cooper, he oído que pronto serán posibles los trasplantes de tejidos animales en humanos. ¿Qué nos dice al respecto? Al respecto. Doctora Cooper, sí, es verdad. Estamos muy cerca de poder contar con los cerdos modificados como fuente de tejidos para trasplantes en seres humanos. Locutor, ¿dentro de cuánto tiempo será posible? Doctora Cooper, pues quizás en unos 2 años, gracias a la disponibilidad de cerdos genéticamente modificados, podrán comenzarse los ensayos clínicos de trasplantes en humanos. Locutor, ¿qué significa trasplantes? Doctora Cooper, los senotrasplantes son trasplantes de órganos, tejidos o células animales en humanos y han logrado enormes avances en la década pasada. Locutor, qué buenas noticias. ¿Cómo se prevé que los senotrasplantes vayan a ayudar al ser humano? Doctora Cooper, bueno, en primer lugar, son vistos como una solución a las largas listas de espera de órganos en todo el mundo. Tan solo en el Reino Unido, unas 8,000 personas esperan un órgano y 3 mueren cada día por la falta de estos. All right, here. According to Dr. Cooper, what will soon be a reality. So she said that, let's go back. Okay, so what will soon be reality? Animal tissue transplants in humans will be possible soon, right? Uh, Wait, let me make sure I have this correct. Right. So because the interview asks that I've heard that soon tissue animal tissue transplants will be possible in humans. So she says it's true. Estamos muy cerca de poder contar con los cerdos modificados como fuente de tejidos para trasplantes en seres humanos. So yes, animal tissue transplants in humans will be possible soon. Yes, so that would be the answer. That would be soon. So then the next question, what will begin within 2 years? Pues, so doctora Cooper, pues quizás en unos 2 años. Ujú. Gracias a la disponibilidad de cerdos genéticamente modificados, podrán comenzarse los ensayos clínicos de xenotrasplantes en humanos. So, the clinical trials for xenotransplants in humans will begin within 2 years, right? So clinical trials for xenotransplants in humans will begin within 2 years, right? See? So explain the term xenotransplants as the interviewer asks her. ¿Qué significa xenotrasplantes? So los xenotrasplantes son trasplantes de órganos, tejidos o células animales en humanos. So this refers to transplants of organs, tissues, or animal cells in humans, right? So that was the definition given for this term. How will transplants help human beings? Okay. So the question was, ¿cómo se prevé que los xenotrasplantes vayan a ayudar al ser humano? Bueno, en primer lugar, son vistos como una solución a las largas listas de espera de órganos en todo el mundo. Okay, so xenotransplants will help humans by providing organs to those who need them around the world, thereby reducing the wait. And then it says, tan solo en el Reino Unido, unas 8,000 personas esperan un órgano y 3 mueren cada día por la falta de esto. So it's talking about the necessity of organs and how persons die every day because of not having them. So how will these help humans? They will provide organs to those in need, right? And the weight will be reduced. Okay, part two. Locutor. Doctor, ¿cuáles son los inconvenientes de los xenotrasplantes? Doctora Cooper, uno de los mayores problemas es el rechazo. El rechazo. El organismo humano no acepta fácilmente un tejido tan extraño, pero los científicos han logrado crear cerdos equipados con genes capaces de protegerlos contra el rechazo del sistema inmune humano. Locutor. Increíble, doctora Cooper. Sí, para solucionar el problema de rechazo, se han creado cerdos que no producen una proteína, la cual es blanco de ataque del sistema inmune. Pero este tipo de rechazo no es la principal causa del fracaso de un trasplante. hay otros problemas como la inflamación que ahora deberá ser solucionada con la modificación genética. Locutor. Pero, ¿han tenido los científicos algún éxito con estos trasplantes? Sí, con los pacientes de diabetes tipo 1. A veces, el sistema inmune ataca el tejido pancreático. En estos casos, pueden ser sometidos a un reemplazo del tejido perdido. Did I say Dr. Cooper? Right, yeah, Dr. Cooper. Locutor, así que hay esperanza para los diabéticos. Doctora Cooper, claro, uno de cada 500, uno de cada 500 pacientes con diabetes tipo 1 tiene niveles bajos de azúcar y ellos son los que pueden recibir este trasplante. Ok, muy bien. Part 2. What is one major concern expressed by Dr. Cooper about xenotransplants? Okay, so she said, uno de los mayores problemas es el rechazo. So I keep thinking I'm saying rechazo, but rechazo, right? So one major concern is rejection, right? Human beings will not accept a foreign tissue easily. El organismo humano no acepta fácilmente un tejido tan extraño. So it's like human beings will not accept a tissue that's foreign, right? At least not easily. What have scientists done to address Dr. Cooper's concern? Sí, para solucionar el problema del rechazo, se han creado cerdos que no producen una proteína, la cual es blanco de ataque del sistema inmune. So he's saying that scientists have created pigs that do not produce a protein, which will be the target of which the immune system will attack, basically. So that is how scientists have done to address the concern. They have created pigs which do not produce the protein that the immune system will attack. Right? Right. So that's the response. G, what success have scientists had with these transplants? Pero ¿han tenido los científicos algún éxito con estos trasplantes? Doctora Cooper. Sí, con los pacientes de diabetes tipo 1. Okay. A veces el sistema inmune ataca el tejido pancreático. En esos casos pueden ser sometidos a un reemplazo del tejido perdido. So they've had success with patients with diabetes type 1. Sometimes the immune system attacks the pancreatic tissue, right? In these cases, they can have the tissue replaced. So the patients can have the tissue replaced. So that's how, right, they can have the tissue replaced, right? That the tissue that they would have lost. So they can have the tissue replaced. All right. And H, how many patients will benefit from this success? Okay, Doctora Cooper said, claro, uno de cada 500 pacientes con diabetes tipo 1 tiene niveles bajos de azúcar y ellos son los que pueden recibir este trasplante. So 1 out of every 500 patients with diabetes type 1 has low sugar levels or low levels of sugar, right? Low levels of blood sugar. And they are the ones that can benefit from this transplant, right? So that would be the answer. 1 out of every 500 patients with diabetes type 1 will benefit from this success. Ok, es todo por hoy. Espero que a ustedes les haya gustado el video. Muchas gracias por ver como siempre y hasta la próxima.